watching Thrifty Kaniffy.
Hello everyone and welcome to Thrifty Kaniffy. Well, today we're going to be taking a look at another installment of the Super Sack Saturday open tag that I created. Hopefully anybody that is into Swiss Army knives will participate and just simply show us Swiss Army knife on Saturday. But we've got another Victorinox design to show you today. This comes in an older style box. This one's actually not nearly as common as most of the stuff that I've shown on the channel. This one's probably a little more collectible, I would say, than some of the others. But here's a look at the box. We've got Victorinox multi-tools, Swiss precision since 1884. On this side it says makers of the original Swiss Army knife. And on the end here we've got the model number. This is the US model number, 73605, Rover with trach in emerald. And then on this side, or excuse me, on the bottom, just kind of much the same, Rover with trach in emerald. So there you go. Nice little box there. It opens up as a tray with the sleeve. And you get the little instruction guide inside with maintenance as well. But yeah, really neat little package. And here's what we're looking at today. There is the Rover. Now this is a 58mm design, much like the classic SD that everyone's familiar with. Measures 2 1/4 inches. And we've got the green emerald scales, which I've always been a fan of. Now, much more common are the ruby red scales and the sapphire blue scales. But they did also make some knives in this emerald green, and it's just not as common, I would say. It's not one that they use a lot. I don't know that they even use it on any, I wouldn't say any, but if they do, it's probably on a smaller 58mm knife. I don't remember seeing these on a 91mm design that they still create. So it's just definitely not as common as the blue and the red. But cool looking color. I always thought that the emerald green was like a really nice shade of green. You get the Swiss Army logo there and inlaid, and you can see the Victorinox kind of showing through on the back side of the handle material. If I can just get the light just right there. Yeah, you can see it. There you go. So kind of neat design. You get the toothpick on the front, and then of course the tweezers on the back. Nice little toothpick design. Now we try to date this knife a little bit, and I'll get into that a little bit more later, but I believe it was made between 97 and 03, somewhere in that range. It's only made about 6 years based on some things that we wanted to identify. There's your tweezers. Right. And the reason for that is there's some things that were eliminated and added to the knife that kind of help us date it. But the Rover has the combi blade, but with the less common flat tip on it. Now they started using the wire stripper in 1997 on these combi blades. So we know it's no older than that. We've got the nice little cap lifter wire stripper combination. Again, a nice little flat tip screwdriver. And they don't make that anymore. They stopped using that flat tip in early 2000s. So probably from around 97 to say conservatively 2003 is all the longer they would have been able to make this knife based on some of the features that it has. Okay, so no half stop on that, but that's probably about a 4 pull, and it snaps in there nicely. Make for a great little cap lifter and great little smaller flat tip blade. So really cool little tool there, a little different. Now your more modern ones have the Phillips head, and so they still use this combi blade, but just in a little different configuration. And then on the opposite side, we've got 2 blades. And we'll take a look at the nail file first. So you've got the nail cleaner with the nail nick on that side with the diamond style file. And that little tip there is fantastic for cleaning out your nails, doing whatever. And the diamond, surface there does a really good job of filing down your blades or filing down your nails. And then you've got this other blade that is what makes this knife quite unique. You've got the emergency blade. Now, a lot of the Rovers had the emergency blade. That's not that uncommon, but to have it in this combination with color and new in the box, all these things, just kind of adds up to a somewhat unique knife. I wouldn't say, again, I wouldn't call these rare just because they've made so many. But it's not as easy to find, I would say, than a lot of these. I actually looked on eBay, searched the current and old listings, and didn't find a single one of these. Now, there's some classic SDs in this color, but not a Rover. Not a Rover. So I think it's probably a fairly, harder to find little knife. Let's take a closer look at that little Wharncliffe blade. Now, another thing we mentioned earlier was called the trach on the box. If we'll take a quick look at the box again here. It says trach right here. And I think that may mean that this was intended to be, what's called an emergency knife by Victorinox, okay? Not just a Wharncliffe. So I'm thinking maybe that was supposed to be used for tracheotomy or tracheotomy, in an emergency or something like that. Perhaps somebody that knows maybe a little more about Victorinox could maybe tell me why they use that language on the box. But I can definitely see this being used for like precision cuts, things like that. Getting out splinters. Just a little more precision than your pen blade would have, which is what's normally on the Rover. But we have a look at the tang stamp here. I kind of give us a little more information about the dating. If I can get that. There we go. Victorinox Switzerland stainless rosary on this blade. So that makes it, in that date range with the rosary 4-line tang stamp. So pretty cool little design, and not one that you're probably likely to see a ton of. I think that's a pretty nice little pickup with the box and everything else. So a nice little collectible Victorinox for you guys for Super Sack Saturday. But that's going to do it for me. I hope you enjoyed the review. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell to be made aware of videos when they drop. We'll see you next time. Take care.